commission order. If you would, go ahead and log in to your computers. Are there any more citizens input forms over there on the table? Everybody that wants to speak? While you all are logging in, I'd like to recognize our youth leadership class. If you all would stand. And adult leadership. We thought we might have to help you all. So. All right. Thank y'all for your attendance tonight. And 19 present, 2 absent. We do have a quorum. We'll begin our meeting with prayer by our chaplain, Commissioner Coleman, and we'll ask Commissioner Solomon to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. First item is approval and corrections of the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, there was a late budget amendment that didn't get through the budget committee. I'd like to move to suspend the rules and add in, please.
We have a motion to suspend the rules. We have a second by Mr. Bales. Any other items to be added? Let's vote on it and then we'll vote on the items there. All in favor of suspending the rules, vote yes. Opposed, vote no. As soon as Frank gets it going here. Now we're going. So the rules are suspended. You also have a motion to add a budget amendment.
So moved.
And any other items to be added to the agenda. Mr. Reed.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to add Resolution 2023-21 to the agenda. A resolution requesting the General Assembly of the State of Tennessee preserve the fundamental right of Tennesseans to keep and bear arms.
Any other items to add to the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor of amending the agenda and adding these 2 items, vote yes. Opposed, vote no. These 2 items have been added to the agenda. Next item is approval of minutes, our regularly quarterly minutes, and our special call session. We will combine those two. A motion to approve would be in order let's back up. We need to approve the agenda as amended, sorry. I need a motion. Got it? All in favor of approving the agenda as amended? Passes. That brings us to approval of minutes. We can combine these minutes, regularly quarterly session from January the 17th and a special call on February the 16th. Motion to approve would be in order. Got it? Second. Any requests to speak? Any corrections? Hearing none, seeing none. All in favor, vote yes. Opposed, vote no. Passes 19-0. That brings us to appearance of citizens. First person, David Nelson. If you come to the podium, Mr. Nelson, state your name and address.
My name is David Nelson. I live at 470 Judson Road in Strawberry Plains, which is District 6. Tonight, Commissioners, you're going to be hearing a proposal to engage a consulting firm to conduct a citizen survey for long-range planning. I'm here tonight to ask you to approve that. As we all know in this room, our county is undergoing tremendous growth and change and has been for some time and will continue to in the future. So I think long-range planning is extremely important. I think it's time to give as many citizens as possible a voice in our long-range planning process. And conducting this survey, I think, will open the door for as many citizens as possible to participate in the decision-making on what is going to happen in our county going forward over the next few years. So I'm asking you to please vote yes for this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Lisa Neal. You'll come to the podium, give us your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Hi, my name is Lisa Neal, 1909 Variety Way, Dandridge, and I'm here. I was here last week. Our community is concerned about the changing of the zoning for 2 parcels on 92. There's a little bit of a confusion. Many of our residents have been told that it was pulled.
One has.
So that is why I'm here, because it's kind of unclear, but it's not just about that piece of property at the end of Kinder Lane. It's about our entire residential community down 92. So I just wanted to reiterate that we are against it. A lot of people aren't here because of that confusion. I also want to say that I've sent emails to 21 commissioners, and thank you so much for those of you that got back to me, because it is a time right now where we need to know that our voices matter. And if we are going to go with this long-range planning and a survey where our voices can be heard, I would ask that at least you don't make a vote for that change until you hear the voices of those of us in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Barry French. Mr. French.
Sorry, I got crippled foot. I'm not sure what's going on. I know they say that that's not a rock quarry that they're doing.
Barry, if you give us your name and address.
I'm sorry. Barry French, 1346, Highway 2570, Dandridge.
You're good. Thanks.
Okay.
Sorry.
Down in Piedmont, right off 2570. They say they're not building a rock quarry. I would like the commissioners to go take a ride through there. It's a rock quarry. They may not be selling rock out of there. They sure are hauling it, and they're making a mess. I live right across the road from it. I can't open the windows on my house for the dust. You can't go outside and do anything. It's not like that if it's kind of rainy or what during hot days. It's bad. The school gets covered up in a cloud of dust on some days. The gym's messed up down there, so the kids have to go outside for recess. And I've seen them go out there what they shouldn't have been. It's my opinion. They're hauling big chunks of rocks out, and they're taking them down to the 407 exit. They have a grinder down there, right, Tim?
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah. What they're doing with the gravel there, I don't care. But in doing that, they're coming out of there with, those trucks have to be overloaded. And it's just one after another. They're so overloaded, I have to get rocks this big or bigger out of my yard to mow. The other day, so many came out, the county had to come down and block the road and wait for them to bring a backhoe in there and clean the highway. There doesn't seem to be anything that we can do about it unless you all can do something about it. I don't know where to go but to here and see if the commissioners need to know about it. Jimmy Dale, do you know anything about it?
No, I don't, sir.
It's a mess. It's a mess. Joe, you?
No, I don't.
Wish y'all would take a
I
ride
know what
down
we're
there.
talking about. I have seen the trucks come out of there, but I don't know the conditions that they're leaving.
And I know they've told Tim, and they do. You can see their sprinklers. They're supposed to be settling dust. I saw those sprinklers on. The only water coming out of those sprinklers is washing down the ditch beside the gravel road that it ain't making. I don't know whether they don't have enough pressure. I don't know. But it's not working.
Mr. Dockery wanted to make a comment. Please.
Well, can I ask a question?
Sir.
Kim, I don't know if you know the answer or not, but it sounds like,
I've been down there 3 or 4 times.
well, it sounds like if they're mining, would that not,
I mean,
no?
there's no, and I've told Barry this
Yeah, we've talked.
15, 20 times, there's no law in zoning that says you can't sell your dirt or rocks out of your place. They're not grinding them up. He's moving all the rock, like Barry said, to Speartown. And then I guess he crushes them, because he's not allowed to crush them. That would, in zoning's opinion, make it a court. And I told him from the get-go.
I expect one day they'll be here wanting to rezone.
And they should be, and I told Barry that.
I surely want to know it, so does everybody else that lives up and down the Piedmont. Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Larry. David Seal. I know you put yours in first, but you know how to stack rows.
I'll give you a break, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I'm David Seal, 730 San Martin Road in Dandridge. Jefferson County properly supports the Jefferson Alliance on Economic Development and the County Tourism Office with public funding. They're both accountable to the citizens with open records and open meetings. By contrast, this county improperly provides funding to the Chamber of Commerce, an organization with a history of nasty behavior. During the intermodal disaster 2009 through 12, the Chamber worked to defeat property rights bills that would have protected the people of Newmarket from eminent domain. Finally, in November of 2016, the Chamber discontinued its employment of lobbyists. Ethics report from the Ethics Commission here proves that. These taxpayer-funded lobbyists are the ones that fight me every time I go to Nashville and advocate for your property rights. I've got the bill numbers to prove it. Each year before budget, the Chamber apologizes for its misdeeds and promises transparency. A broken record of fairy tales, 39 years running. Last year, they came to the Budget Committee and made a promise of transparency. Then I made a records request, and a week later, they reneged on their commitment. I don't trust the Chamber of Commerce, and neither should you. Their activities represent a breach of public trust and demonstrate their ideology. When I ask the Chamber for records, their attorney sends me a snooty letter like this. Their flagship newspaper, the Standard Banner, promises the Chamber, or promotes the Chamber every week, making the Chamber look like it's valuable to the business community. Jefferson County's version of lipstick on a pig. Jefferson County government is the Chamber's primary funding source. If the Chamber was actually valuable, the business community would be their primary source of funding. Money from the Economic Development Reserve would be better spent adding one employee to the tourism office. There you would get a return on your investment. please do not give the Chamber of Commerce any of our money. And while we got time, I would ask you to support the resolution to stop red flag laws. And I would give support to the Long Range Planning Committee. That's a very important activity for this county to go through, if for no other reason, just to eliminate strife in the community. Thank you all so much.
Thanks, sir. Next item is honorary resolutions. The first one is Rhonda Davis and Mr. Carmichael and Mr. AJ, if you want to join him. They're from your district. And I think we have Jerica Simpson and Emily Jarning. Well, we got three. I only had two.
And my daughter.
So, this is an honorary resolution, and you know, it hasn't been that long since we honored their mother for her service to the county, and unfortunately, she's passed away. So we're honoring her tonight, Rhonda Davis, having served Jefferson County with dedication, integrity, and love for others as the director of the Office on Aging, is worthy of special recognition and appreciation. Rhonda Davis served as the director of senior centers located in Dandridge, Jefferson City, New Market, Strawberry Plains, and White Pine. Rhonda Davis not only loved her family and members of the Jefferson County seniors, but her strong faith and belief in God remained positive when faced with many challenges. Rhonda Davis, loved, admired, and respected by family and many friends, will be remembered for her helpful, caring attitude and friendship. Rhonda Davis is a respected and cherished colleague, worked tirelessly serving Jefferson County. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Jefferson County, Tennessee recognizes and gratefully acknowledges exemplary spirit, outstanding leadership, and commitment. Be it further resolved that this honorary resolution be presented to the family of Rhonda Davis, and a copy be spread across the minutes of this county commission meeting to be a permanent record of thanks and gratitude to Rhonda Davis, adopted this the 17th day of April 2023. Thank you for your mama's service and what she's done for the county. Next, Floyd C. Douglas and Ron Douglas. See, come forward, sir. This was a member of Mr. Patterson's district. Mr. Coleman, if you want to join them, that would be fine. Neither one of you own the whole district. You got half and half. So. Whereas Floyd C. Douglas served the residents of Jefferson County, Tennessee for many years with dedication, integrity, and uncompromising principle. Floyd C. Douglas not only loved his family, but loved God and demonstrated his true Christian spirit by serving others. He was a deacon, church training director, Sunday school teacher, and served with great joy by driving the church bus and bringing children to church. He invested in his community by representing Gideon's International in speaking engagement and distributing Bibles. Floyd C. Douglas experienced many changes in his lifetime. He was one of the few remaining at age 10 who remembered when TBA first came through Jefferson County with electricity. Floyd C. Douglas owned, operated, and sold cars for more than 50 years. He was proud that at age 92, he still had his motorcycle license. We're probably thinking we wasn't riding too. So Floyd C. Douglas served as a Jefferson County Commissioner for many years in District 2 and was named Republican of the Year in 2010. He will be remembered for his helpful, caring attitude, friendship, and is loved by many friends and his family. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Jefferson County, Tennessee recognizes and gratefully acknowledges the exemplary spirit, outstanding leadership, and commitment, Be it further resolved that the Jefferson County Legislative Body commemorates a dedicated and cherished colleague who worked tirelessly serving Jefferson County. Be it further resolved that this honorary resolution be presented to the family of Floyd C. Douglas and a copy be spread across the minutes of the County Commission meeting to be a permanent record of thanks and gratitude to Floyd C. Douglas. Thank you for your service. Thank you. Thanks so much. Next item is approval of notaries and bonds. Mr. Herndon gave you a list last week. He's since added a few more names to it. We have a motion and a second. Anyone request to speak? Nope. All in favor of these notaries and bonds, vote yes. Opposed, vote no. Pass 19-0. Next item are mayoral appointments. We can do them all three. Well, two of them are really actually the same. Regional Planning Commission, Commissioner Austin Brooks to continue the term for Paul Lowe, who has chosen not to serve. That will be April 2023 through October 2026. Sanitation Commission, Todd Jefferson to finish the continued term of Jimmy Henry, and that will be April 23 to June 24. Serving on the Sanitation Commission also puts him on the Solid Waste Regional Planning Board. Todd Jefferson to finish the continued term of Jimmy Henry, April 23, June 2027. A motion to approve these appointments would be, we have a motion and a second. Any request to speak? Seeing none, all in favor vote yes. Opposed, vote no. Passes 19-0. Next item is an email that's in your packet that I received from Judge Roach, and it is request that County Commission appoint and confirm W. Keith Repass and John Bud Townsend as judicial commissioners. And that's from, we have a motion and a second. No request to speak. All in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. Passes 19-0. Next item. Make sure I don't skip over anybody. Financial reports are in your packet. Next item. Dr. Arnold had asked County Commission a question when he spoke in regard to Jefferson Elementary. Is there any response from County Commission at this time? Or is this something you want to wait till new business, or what's the pleasure of the committee? I'm just pointing out that Dr. Arnold asked a question. Hearing nobody, we'll move on to the next item. That brings us to resolution to surplus for the Finance Department, surplus for Dandridge Memorial Library, and a resolution to surplus vehicles. We'll combine those three if there's no objection. We have a motion and a second. Frank's going to let the record reflect that. All in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. So it passes 19-0. School is only informational resolutions that's on here to surplus items. The next item is extension of the interfund loan. That's resolution 2023-18. We have a motion and a second. Any request to speak? Seeing none, all in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. Passes 19-0. Jefferson County Rescue Squad lease agreement. This is the lease for Register of Deeds. Sorry, did I miss something? No, the resolution I think covers it. We don't need to approve the letter or the I don't think, it's just, no. I think the resolution covers it for me. Okay. Rescue Squad lease agreement, archives and Register of Deeds is using that area. They've agreed to lease it to us, and this is the lease. Motion to approve this lease would be in order. Have a motion, second, no request to speak. All in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. Passes 19-0. Next item is a Jefferson County landfill lease agreement on a house at the landfill. The motion and a second. Oh, God. Motion and a second. Any request to speak? Hearing none, all in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. Passes 18-1. All right, next item. Brings us down to budget amendment. Do we need to do that under tourism or just?
Probably so.
Okay, so we're at that point now. So there's a budget amendment that you got. It's no cost to you. Should be an easy decision. We have a motion to second. All in favor? This is Frank gets pulled up. Motion second. No request to speak. All in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. I'm the wrong person to look at on that. Rub your hands together. Maybe you don't have enough. I don't know how that works. Hit it with a hammer or something. You won't vote yes or no, and I might.
Okay.
All right, we got it. There we go. So that passes 19-0. So that tourism budget amendment has passed. So I'm trying not to skip over anyway. That brings us to budget amendments. Those that affect fund balance, we will vote on. Any that don't, we'll try to group together for you. But the very first one, Chairman of it comes from the Budget Committee, needs no motion or second. It is Budget General Fund 101, Amendment number 16. Fund balance $230,652. We need no motion or second. Any request to speak? Seeing none, all in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. Passes 19-0. Next item, General Fund 101, Amendment number 18. Fund balance $102,940. Comes from Budget Committee, needs no motion or second. Any request to speak? No request to speak. All in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. It passes 19-0. Next two have no effect on fund balance. So, one's reserved. General Fund 101, Amendment number 19, and Sanitation Fund 116, Amendment 4. Neither one affects fund balance. We can group those together. If you're in favor of voting on both those at the same time, vote yes. Or vote no. or abstain? Passed 19-0. We approve both of those amendments. Next item is Highway Fund 131, amendment number 5. It does affect fund balance for $62,507. Needs no motion or second. Floor is open to discussion. Seeing none, all in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. Passes 19-0. So, Capital Fund 171, Amendment 4, does not affect fund balance. 174, Amendment number 3, no change in fund balance. Landfill Fund 207, Amendment 4, has no change in fund balance. If it's okay with you with no objection, we can approve all 3 of these budget amendments at once. Needs no motion or second. All in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. Passes 19-0. Landfill Fund 207, Amendment number 5, does affect fund balance by a total of $150,000. Comes from Budget Committee, needs no motion or second. Any request to speak? Seeing none, all in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. Passes 19-0. Fund 141, General Purpose Fund. This is a refund from insurance company for damaged fence at the school, I think. So, needs no motion or second. All in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. Passes 19-0. Brings us to Fund 141, General Purpose Funds, Budget Amendment number 16. Fund balance, $216,284.33.
That is a positive to that. That's receiving in.
Okay.
Everybody understands. That's the insurance to go.
Insurance recovery. So, all in favor vote yes, opposed vote no. Passes. 141, Budget Amendment number 17. No effect on fund balance. All in favor vote yes, opposed vote no. Passes 19-0. Fund 141, General Purpose Funds, Budget Amendment number 18. $500,000 fund balance. All in favor, no, seeing no request to speak, all in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. Passes 19-0. Budget Amendment number 19, Fund 141, no effect on fund balance. Fund 141, General Purpose Funds, Budget Amendment number 20, no change in fund balance. We can vote on these two together. No request to speak. If you're in favor of these two amendments, vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no. Passes 19-0. Brings us to Fund 141, General Purpose Funds, Budget Amendment number 21. Fund balance, $125,000. All in favor, no request to speak. All in favor, vote yes. Opposed, vote no. Passes 19-0. Fund 143, Student Nutrition Funds, Budget Amendment number 5. No change in fund balance. Needs no motion or second. John?
You've got two 143s, you want to take it together.
One's got a negative fund balance. Can we take them
You're
together?
gonna vote on anyway, you're doing a roll call vote, you vote those together.
All right. Also, Fund 143, Student Nutrition, Budget Amendment number 6, 101,000. So that will be these two budget items together. All in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. 19-0. Audience be happy to know we're done with budget amendment. Next item is I'm 2 pages behind here. All right.
Hang on just a second.
Yeah, I'm trying to get, I'm at nominating committee now, right? Sorry, go ahead.
Never mind.
I don't like never mind. All right,
Get used to it.
nominating committee. If you'll turn your microphone on, Ms. Thomas.
The following nominations come from the nominating committee: to the Industrial Development Board, Melissa Fager and Hubert Davis; to the Animal Control and Oversight Board, Susan Cardwell.
These need no motion or second. It's nominations from the nominating committee. Any other nominations or requests to speak? If not, all in favor of the nominating committee's recommendations, vote yes. If opposed, vote no. Passes 19-0. Next item is the Long Range Planning Committee. You have a contract in here from IBI. It was for $35,000 plus an additional $10,000 for marketing. Sorry, and that comes from the Long Range Planning Committee. It needs no second. You saw a presentation. Also, the PowerPoint presentation is in your packet. So, we have a motion second. Anyway, we'll take a request to speak. Mr. Snodgrass, Chair of the Long Range Planning Committee.
Yep. Hey, just want to make one more point on the function of this activity. It is to contract IBI. They'll administer a county-wide survey, much like they did back for our Parks and Recreation planning, to get input from anybody in the county who wants to take the survey. And once, if this is approved, the $35,000 for the survey, the $10,000 for marketing, which could be materials to get out in the community and communicate, whether it be town hall meetings, whether it be various agriculture committees, any of those functions where we can come to and provide this survey. We've even discussed so far at this point having QR codes available, so if those are on various materials, you can scan it, get you right to that survey. And then this group assimilates all of the data, and then we'll report back to long-range planning, the steering committee, and this group, and then we'll make those results available as well, most likely on our website and some other sources as well. If this is approved, we could have a kickoff meeting as early May is what it sounds like in talking with IBI.
Ms. Norton.
When I was running for county commissioner, one of the things that I heard over and over and over again from the citizens was that we want to be heard, we want to be represented, and there's no long-range planning. We've got a long-range planning committee now. It's up to us, as well as the citizens, to stay on us and see that this does go through. And what better to have a survey throughout the community to get your input. And please tell everybody that you know that doesn't attend these meetings, it's very important if they want to be heard to be a part of the survey. And for once, let's do a survey or actually use what we came up with. I just think it's up to us and the community together to keep this going. That's what they asked for.
Request to speak. Mr. Coleman.
I think we've got a bigger problem with our short-term memory. I know Jimmy brought it to the floor not too long ago, the citizens gonna have to make up their mind what they want in Jefferson County. And we've not got our minds made up yet. Our short-term memory, I remember when we had opportunity to get a automotive factory right out there to Split. But that went down without any discussion between the property owners or the contractor, the builder. So, you know, you got to think about it. If you're gonna throw your money out there, where's it gonna go to? If the citizens don't want it, if they don't want industry, then there's no use of wasting your money or trying to get out there and finagle around the money.
Thanks, sir. Katie Huffer.
I'd just like to say it's an exciting opportunity to let all of our Jefferson County citizens finally have a voice in our long-range planning. And like Commissioner Norton said, people have been coming forward for a long time requesting this, citizens. And if we do this, we can work together to develop a vision for the county. And that's something we've debated for years about, that we don't have a vision. And if we can get good community input, this is a great time for us to seek direction from our citizens to come up with a vision for the county. And I really hope you'll support this motion and we can move forward in a progressive manner. I think it's an exciting time where there's a lot of changes going on in the county right now, and it's a good time to get input from all the different people. If you own a business, the farmers, everybody should be involved in this process, and I really hope you support it.
Mr. Scarlett.
I guess this question from Mr. Snodgrass, just to make sure, and you had called me to ask a couple of things to answer questions I'd ask. You all, going forward, the steering committee and the way you're all developing stuff to do this, and the results are going to be to where it's not weighted to all residential, and it's not weighted to all the people that's come in here in the last 3 years and decide that they don't want businesses and all this other stuff. We're going to get a fair thing with agriculture and businesses and all that put together.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
That is correct. And the steering team will decide on those questions and formats and how to group those.
Any place to speak? Guess you're ready to vote. All in favor vote yes, opposed vote no. Passes 17-2. Next item. Library appointments. Pat Eisenberg, Jefferson City. It says July 2023. Probably should be June 2023, or we would have done it in July 1. Okay, well, July 2023 to June 2026, and that is correct. I've got several notes on it, so I'm just wanting to make sure we're approving somebody that's in agreement and wants to be. So that comes from the library board. It's a recommendation from them, appointments that they recommend to us. So it's for county commission approval. If you're in favor of this appointment, vote yes. Opposed, vote no. Coming from the library board, it doesn't need a motion on it. But we'll take them. Passes 19-0. Old business, Lake Haven subdivision partial road release. Need a motion and a second. A motion second. Anyone request to speak? All in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. 17-1. One abstain. Passes. Brings us to new business. Resolution 2312. a resolution amending the zoning map of Jefferson County, Tennessee by rezoning commercial property from I-1 industrial to C2 general commercial. And this is in the zoning map, and it's located on Highway 11E, West Lowry Loop Road in Newmarket, and is owned by Edward Otis III and Lisa L. Otis. Motion to approve will be in order. We have a motion and a second. Any request to speak? Seeing none, all in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. Passes 18, one abstain. The next one is 2023-13. This is the one that wasn't pulled. This was another owner. So it's resolution amending the zoning map of Jefferson County, Tennessee by rezoning property from A1 agricultural forestry to C2 general commercial. Now the property is to be rezoned is located at 2115 Chestnut Hill Road in Dandridge, Tennessee, and is owned by Chestnut Hill LLC. We need a motion or a second. We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. Any commissioner wishing to speak? Your, what is it, RTV? What, I don't know what the button is, I'm impaired. Question to speak, whatever that button, anyone? Oh, y'all want to vote? All right. All in favor vote yes, opposed vote no.
Can I ask a quick question? Too late?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was just saying.
Passes 11-7 with one abstain. So that property is rezoned. Next item, resolution 2023-17. A resolution authorizing Jefferson County to join the state of Tennessee and other local governments in amending the Tennessee State Subdivision Opioid Abatement Agreement and approving the related settlement agreements. The Attorney General added 2 items once they come up with the money that pharmaceuticals are paying. So he wanted to amend this original resolution you passed before I got here. So, excuse me, we would need a motion and second on that. It's free money coming to you. Has to be, can't use it like tobacco money. You know, they gave us tobacco money and we paid the roads. This has to be used for opioid. And there's a 15-page document. And motion and second. Any requests to speak? Seeing none, all in favor, vote yes. Opposed, vote no. Passes 19-0. I have to sign that before midnight tonight, so thank you. Resolution to create an opioid board. It's resolution number 2023-20. Haven't had time to find people for that. We'll bring it back. I'll make recommendations to you, and you all will approve as county commission. So, this is the board to help disperse those funds. No request to speak. Got a motion second. All in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. Passes 19-0. Next resolution will be Resolution 2023-21 from Mr. Reed. It is sponsored by more, at least 2 commissioners, so there doesn't need a motion or a second. You can request to speak, Mr. Reed, since you're the primary. Would you like to speak?
I think the resolution is kind of straightforward. That's one of our God-given rights to me. As prior military, I strongly believe in the Second Amendment. We always should have the ability to defend ourselves as individuals of this country. Thank you.
Any other requests to speak? Seeing none, all in favor vote yes, opposed vote no. Mr. Coleman. Passes 18-1. Next item, this time of year we schedule our meetings for the next year. Commissioner Brooks has proposed returning to the old schedule. You have a copy of the quarterly schedule that we're following now, and we have a copy of the previous schedule we followed with hopefully the correct dates, I think. So the floor is open to a motion for whichever one, whatever. You're making a motion to approve the quarterly.
Yes.
Is there a second? Mr. Scarlett. Floor is open to discussion. If you would like to speak, please press your request to speak button. Mr. Brooks.
I think we have a lot on our plate right now, and it would be best to go to the 8-month schedule where we would have the months of August, December, February, and May off. And if you account for the special called sessions, we're pretty close to that anyway. These would just be scheduled so the citizens would have time to prepare. That's it.
Request to speak. Mr. Scarlett.
Well, it is now 7:25, we started at 6:30. I don't know that we can't handle it on a quarterly basis. We seem to be right on through, and if we do need a special call meeting, they have been very efficient, they've been very direct, and we get the job done. So I can't see us going back until we get more on our plate than what we've got.
Request to speak.
Me.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is what I had to go through to try to decide what to vote on for the budget committee and in here in a couple of days. I think it would be a lot better if I had more time to go through this more thoroughly and better understand what it is we're voting on. And I signed up to do this monthly. I thought was doing monthly. When my husband was on county commission, they did monthly. And I think what Austin suggested is probably a good idea. At least we're meeting more often and there's not as much information to try to get through so that we can better be prepared ourselves for when we come to vote and to meet.
Request to speak. Ms. Thomas.
I would just like to follow up on what you said. I think if you counted the pages for this meeting, it was 220. That is way too much stuff for one meeting. I think we need to adopt the other schedule.
Request to speak. Should have been here when we had 400. But we had to limit quarterly reports to 2 pages because we were like publishing an encyclopedia or something. I don't know. Thank you. It is a lot of paper, a lot of stuff to cover. Other requests to speak? Seeing none, I guess you're ready to vote. All in favor of the motion to continue the regular quarterly meetings that's presented in your packet? And remember, that also includes a special call June budget meeting. Vote yes, opposed, vote no. Passes 12-7, takes 11 to carry. Next item. If it's okay, can we do Rule 9? Anyone have a problem with doing Rule 9 first before we do the pod? No problem with that. So Rule 9 is in your packet. We'll need a motion in a second. Do we have a motion? Okay. So I have a motion and a second. Request to speak. John Neal.
I'd like to offer an amendment
Okay.
to strike the word including and replace it with excluding special call meetings. By definition, a call meeting is.
Let's get a second before you address it. We have a motion to amend to exclude including and change that to excluding. Is there a second? We have a second by Mr. Carmichael. Mr. Scarlett, you had the floor there.
By definition, a special call meeting is, we're here for a reason. And I agree that any citizen can take public comments at any of the other meetings on the price of eggs in China or whatever they want to talk about. But if we're here for that meeting, we're here for a focused job for that meeting. So I'd like to amend that and exclude the special call meetings, with the exception of the budget meeting. Is that all right with you, Mr. Carmichael?
Sure.
All right. We got the amendment of it now. Mr. Snodgrass.
I'd just like to propose a slightly different viewpoint on that. We just voted to keep the quarterly meetings, and one of the reasons to go to monthly was so that we could also have another opportunity for input. Some of these things build over the quarter, and then we end up having large stacks of paper, long meetings, and on and on. So I don't have any issue with citizens speaking up even at special call, because as you said, they are very well run, very efficient and to the point. So to take a few minutes for other comments from citizens shouldn't take much longer in the meeting.
Mr. Reed.
Thank you.
I agree with Commissioner Snodgrass, but I would like to say one thing. A lot of input that I've seen coming from citizens is that they see us in a view that a lot of times that we disrespect what they're attempting to do, what they're attempting to say, and how involved they want to be in the local county of government. And I would say, as an American, we should never make an exclusion for our citizens to speak at any meeting that we have, as long as it's done in a respectful manner from the political part as well as the citizen. It's wrong to say they cannot speak, and I really couldn't find in our rules where it was improper for them to speak now. But this clearly clarifies it, so I completely support it. Thank you.
You support the motion, not the amendment, right?
No, I don't support the amendment.
All right, that's one.
You're correct. Thank you.
I was reading your mind. Mr. Brooks. Or no, yeah, sorry.
I think this, especially since we're going to do the quarterly meetings, who are we to tell citizens they can't come to their courthouse and address their representatives? That seems ridiculous. I think they absolutely should be able to address us anytime we are meeting.
Commissioner Norton.
I think it's been covered. I agree. Yeah, it's We were elected by the people. Transparency is transparency. Any meeting.
Commissioner Blevins.
Yes, the citizens own it. They can use it whenever they wish.
Other requests to speak? Right now, your motion, you're voting, sorry, Mr. Carmichael.
Well, the reason why I support the amendment over, we're not telling you you can't speak. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is, at a special call meeting, you need to stay on point and don't deviate. Just like the confusion tonight over landowners showing up thinking one thing's gonna happen and it didn't happen. You got mass confusion. So when you have a special call meeting, as a previous chairman of 3 years, we need to stay on point with the meeting. The meeting needs to be focused. A special call meeting is that you can only talk about what's on the agenda. At the first of that meeting, if you want to talk about what's on the agenda, you're more than welcome to do it. You know, some of the commissioners are feeling like we're telling you that you can't speak, and that's not what's happening. But when you're having a special call meeting about a budget concern, and somebody wants to come in and talk about their land deal that they didn't like over in Chestnut Hill, okay, then we're getting scattered out. We're talking about something that's not on point. And if you stay on point in a public meeting, everybody understands what we're discussing in plain English. We don't deviate from the plan. In Robert's Rule of Order, it plainly says how to conduct a meeting. That's why all of the input is at the beginning of the meeting and not the end of the meeting. Some other commissions in other counties, they wait till the end of the meeting. At what time would you like the meeting to be over? You know, if you're gonna let everybody talk during the meeting at any time, you've got mass hysteria and a large discussion that will get out of hand, and the chairman has to shut it down, because that's what's gonna happen to it. And that's why me and Mr. Scarlett, we agree that at a special call meeting, it needs to pertain to a special call meeting. And that's all it's saying. It's not saying that you can't speak, that you don't have the right to speak. That's completely wrong. It's not even close to that. What it's saying is, if you're going to talk about it, talk about what the discussion of what's fixing to be voted on. Let's don't get scattered out and everybody, one person be thinking one thing and another person be thinking something else, and suddenly you had a vote and half the crowd didn't even understand what was voting on. I rest.
Mr. Blevins, I'm gonna let Ms. Huffaker, did you speak? I lost track. So I'm gonna let her go. She has to go, and then first no objection, then you can speak.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say that I agree with what Commissioner Snodgrass said. If we'd gone to monthly meetings, I might have supported this amendment, but I think there's too much time for the citizens to be able to tell us what's on their heart. And I don't think it's going to take a tremendous amount of time. I do think a special called meeting is supposed to be to the call, but in this situation, because there's so much time between meetings, I'm going to support the original motion.
Mr. Blevins.
Oh, I just want to say that special called meetings, calendars, and timeframes are very useful tools for both sides of things. Okay? It gives certain people in Nashville and wasteful, useless representatives and senators time to file bills at the very last second, the very last minute, because we have laid out a battle plan for you on our calendars. Okay? It's your house. You talk when you want to. If you don't like the way they do it, vote us out. A lot of them need to go out. The school board should also have meetings before they go and vote 30 minutes later on millions of your dollars. Ask yourself why and follow the money. Every one of you.
Request to speak. We're talking about the amendment to the original motion. And that is to remove the word including and change it to accept. EXCPT. I've got excluding, I'm sorry. I'm a little southern. Accept and accept, you know, and kind of slow. Excluding. I'm sorry, thank you. I rule myself out of order. So all in favor of the amendment, vote yes. If you oppose, vote no.
Order, I like it.
Amendment fails 7-12. We're back to the original motion, which is included in your packet. It says citizens can speak at any meeting. Any requests to speak? Any other amendments? If not, if you're in favor of the motion, vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no. It failed. This is a rule change which requires 14 votes. So, at this time, the rules and procedures stay the same. Just for clarification, if I'm in the position again, if it's a special call meeting, you have a motion or you just want to, is this a,
Yeah.
you want to do an open discussion? How you want to, what?
I make a motion that our chairman requests the school board to get estimates on the pod plan as it's proposed.
A motion to send a request to the school board for cost estimates for the pod plan.
Correct.
Is there a second?
I believe so.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second. Floor is open for discussion. Any requests to speak? Ms. Hopmaker.
Okay, I'm not going to support this motion because my job is not to micromanage the school board or the school system. I am only a funding body. So the school board comes to us with a request for what they need, the dollar amount, and we decide whether or not we can fund it or not. So if the school board wants to entertain the idea of this concept, that's up to them, and if they want to do that on their own and bring it back to me with a dollar amount, well, that's on them, not on me. I'm not here to micromanage them, so I do not support it.
Mr. Blevins.
I am here to micromanage your tax money. The school board's terrible at it. They suck at it. They're awful.
Mr. Chairman.
Careful, that
Can't
language.
go there.
I'm there. They are terrible at it. I'm here to watch your money, and you all better start watching it too. Okay? I yield.
Request to speak. Ms. Thomas, I saw that hand.
I think there is a dollar figure. The one plan I saw does have a dollar figure on it. It's $8 million. I don't know if that's still what they're saying, but the one that got circulated showed it was for $8 million. So, if you want to know what the cost is, I think that's the figure that's been thrown out there. It's $8 million.
For clarification, which plan was that?
The iPod,
The pod plan?
yeah,
Okay, all right.
the pod.
iPod, Chief. Mr. Reed.
Just one thing that I would like to say is, as a commission, we cannot tell them how to spend money, but according to everything I have read, we have the ability to recommend to them and hold them accountable for the amount of money that they ask for. And I have reviewed the pod plan, and we have a gentleman who has come up with a pod plan. We could listen to some of his comments. But we're not being a dictator. We're taking care of the taxpayers' money for this county. And we are in some economic turmoil, or are we all seeing that, or are we not? I think it's a legitimate and a rightful request to say, take a look at this. We recommend that you do. We can't tell them to. But when it comes time to issuing the money, we can hold them accountable for what they do. That is completely legal. That's not being warred over the money that we give to them because it's not ours, it's the citizens. Thank you.
Mr. Brooks.
I just wanted to clarify with Ms. Thomas, the numbers that are on that plan, that's an educated guess, but I'm pretty confident that those, we could get actual estimates at little or no cost. That's why I'm making the request. I'm not trying to micromanage, it's just a simple request.
Ms. Norton.
I asked Mayor Potts to send out an invitation to Olive County Commission to attend us on a tour. There were about 4 or 5 of us that actually went, and we toured each of the schools with Mr. Arnold and Mr. Bridgewater and a few other people from the school board that came. And we heard all this and we looked at all the schools, and the way that this county is growing is lopsided. There's a whole lot of children or people who are moving into that side of the county over towards Talbot and that area. And the other end of the county at Rush Strong, the school's halfway empty, and it is a wonderful school. There are some options to move people around and make things work, I think, based on what I saw. There could be other options out there, and I just think it's a good idea to look at this pod option that was brought to us by Doug Ibbotson and see if this is a possibility, so we don't go out and spend millions of dollars on another school if we don't have to yet.
Thank you. Mr. Scarlett.
2 things. One is for Mr. Brooks. How far do you want the estimates to go? I mean, what are you looking for? Are you looking for just a guess? Are you looking for a schematic design? How far are you wanting him to go with your request?
What I'm getting at is basically if we had a contractor architect that said you can build that building and do the renovations that are required at other facilities for this amount of money. And Mr. Ibbotson has already attached guesstimates, but I think our due diligence would be to seek out actual estimates. Does that clarify your question?
No, it's not. How far do you want that to go? Do you want to go to schematic design?
No.
Level? What level do you want to go?
Just an estimate.
Just an estimate. And then the second question would be for Dr. Arnold. If you would come up here just a second.
Yeah, almost made.
Yes, sir.
Walk me through, Tommy, about just an estimate, schematic design, how that has to happen for what we're looking at. Can you walk me through that?
Sure. So whenever we get to schematic design, then we have a drawing of what we plan to build, or we plan to remodel. Therefore, within that plan, building a new construction based on square footage of a pod is somewhat easier to do than renovations at other schools. That's a very, very difficult number to give. We brought a renovation cost of Jefferson Elementary based on an estimate one time to the commission, and it was not well thought of. There's a lot of skewing that can go on with a light to a heavy renovation type figure. If you don't have it drawn out, then it's questionable of what you're going to be doing.
So how far do you have to go if you're looking at this?
To get an accurate number, like at Piedmont, to get an accurate estimate, we have to go to schematic design to get an accurate estimate. To get just a budgetary figure, we can do that, but it's not, I mean, there's no telling where that could be. That could be several $1 million off of a $12 million project like at Piedmont. Once we got to schematic design and bid it out, it was $2.5 million over what we had anticipated.
Mr. Coleman. Ronnie Coleman.
I would ask Mr. Iverson if he could explain to us the pod plan that he was referencing to.
Certainly. Mr. Iverson.
I'm sorry, Mr. Coleman, I didn't quite understand what your question was.
Could you address the other members of the commission and what your idea of the pod plan was?
I think everybody got a rendering of that. I brought it up at the school board retreat where a number of the county commissioners were there. And I have brought it up a couple of times to the school board. I've received some calls from specific county commissioners regarding, how I came to the numbers and the costs and all of that. I think I explained it to them. And to the ones who didn't actually call me, I contacted them to find out if they had any questions. Some of them did, some of them didn't. One of the things I'd like to mention about the architectural renderings, we already have the architectural rendering for the pod. The pod that I'm proposing to be built is exactly like the other pods that we have there. So there should not be, other than bringing it up to code as far as energy and things like that, there shouldn't be a whole lot of other architectural renderings that have to be done because we already have them for the pods that exist at the high school. The renderings that would have to happen would be the modifications done to the middle school to accommodate the smaller kids, smaller students from the elementary school. We would have to get an estimate on that and some, I don't know what you call them, plumbing or toilet estimates. I don't know what you'd call them. Now, I also want to mention that my plan is not set in concrete. It is a rendering. It is a concept. We can add or subtract from it as we see fit. All right? What I was trying to do is start a discussion on an alternative to building a new school, which this county commission has seemed to indicate they really don't have an appetite for until they get numbers and estimates on alternatives, which we at the school board have not given you. So this doesn't really have to do with anything at the elementary school as far as renovating or as far as building a new one. This has to do with the high school to relocate various people from various schools so that we have a elementary school that once empty, we can do what we want with. My concern is to get the students into a safe environment that is conducive to learning, as well as the support staff, as well as the teachers. And if we need to do something with the plan as presented, we can do it. If we need to take something away from it, we can do it. But until we actually know what it's going to cost, which we don't know now, all I have is, as I say, educated guesstimates of subcontractors who worked on various parts of the high school and know the high school. Until we get some kind of educated estimates, we're not going to know what we're talking about, other than what I'd like to do. But how much is it going to cost? The only way we're going to do that is to provide numbers from people who want the job and give those to you, and then you can make a decision whether you want that to happen or not. I, for one, think it's a solid plan, but it's not set in concrete. Additions and deletions can be made at any time for any reason. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Highpacker, we have a motion to amend.
Well, I'd like to speak and amend, yeah.
Make your motion. You get a second, you can speak.
Okay, I've got to amend it. Well, I want to amend it because
it seems like we're asking for an estimate, but we haven't even asked if it's a good plan. The school board hasn't even discussed if this is a viable option, yet we're asking them to go out and spend money on a plan to come up with an estimate. I mean, why would you want an estimate on a plan when you don't even know if the plan's good? So I'm not even sure the capacity, you could move the Patriot Academy over to the high school, because I think they looked into this before in the last building program. But I don't see that you would ask them to look for an estimate when you don't even know if it's a viable option to move these kids around. So I want to amend it.
What's your amendment?
I want to amend that the request is to ask the school board if it's even an option for this type of plan from them before an estimate is asked.
We have a motion to amend. Is there a second? There is a second by Mr. Solomon. Those who are requesting to speak, are you wanting to address this amendment? No? Can you clear it so I can find out who does? All right. You have a request to speak? Anyone want to speak to the amendment? I don't think we can electronically.
Something's crashed.
Just request. Anyone want to speak? Mr. Blevins.
I'll be nicer this time.
Thank you.
There's members of the school board here. We can amend whatever we want. We know what you're gonna come back and ask for, some of you. Okay? We went to the retreat. I went to the retreat too, and Mr. Jarnigan said, my name's Bill Jarnigan. As long as I'm on the board, I'm gonna vote for a new school. So why were we there? I gave you all honey. It's the last time I'm being sweet to you. You're wasting too much money. You love to spend money on plans. Well, let's just do another one. Maybe different people this time. But it's always the same. Again, follow the money. We fought about this from 2010, when most of us come on together, till now. We're still talking about the original plan idea they wanted to do in '76 when they built the school. It's what we should have done before. It's same circus, different monkeys.
Mr. Coleman. Ronnie Coleman. Sorry. Two Colemans.
As I recall, Dr. Arnold came before the commission in the work session and asked for some direction from the commission. Is this not some direction that we're asking for?
Ms. Thomas?
I just wanted to make a comment. I believe he was asking for direction on building a new Jefferson elementary school.
The one that happened took care of, yes. That one.
Was it to build a new Jefferson Elementary or your request?
The request was for Jefferson Elementary School.
But not necessarily to build a new?
No, sir.
Okay. Renovate? I'm assuming this came from the school board. I'm just trying to seek clarification.
Yeah, direction on monetary funding amounts to see what kind of plan we can bring back to the committee.
All right. Who's next? Any request to speak? Motion to amend by Katie Huffaker, I think. And the motion was, sorry, Marcus.
That's okay. I think the motion, the original motion, is for them to take a look at the plan, Mr. Iverson's plan, see how feasible it is, because it also includes and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Epson, it includes rezoning in order, so we can shift some kids to this side of the county, and we can shift from this side of the county up to this side of the county. It's got some very valuable points in it. I wish he had time to go over it completely. And all I think the original motion was to recommend to them, take some time, look at it, get some costs if you can, and see what you think of it. I don't think that's anything hard to digest, and I would think in the interest of our citizens of the county, any one of the entities would do that. It only makes good common sense and logic. Thank you.
Request to speak, Mr. Bales.
I'm gonna go back to Austin. You were asking for dollar amounts to do the plan, and it said not to look at this plan, correct?
I think everyone's aware of the plan at this point.
There's two different things. What you said and what he said was different from my opinion.
Okay.
He's saying, ask them to look at, is that what you thought?
I think that's exactly what he said.
You would want to look at the plan to get estimates. Yes, I believe so.
But you want to look at the money. Let's just take the damn
For little or no cost.
So the motion is to look at the plan and come back with a cost estimate, right?
Yeah.
Then the bottom line, that was the motion, and it has been, there's an amendment that we're talking about now, not the original motion. The amendment was Ms. Huffaker, and, sorry, I'm sending IT to Commissioner Norton here. Ms. Huffaker, you closing out?
Well,
Motion to amend?
I want clarification.
Well, hold on one second. Mr. Carmichael hasn't spoken, and then you can go. Mr. Carmichael.
Okay, here's where I'm at in the whole thing. I'm not gonna vote yes on none of this, and I'm gonna explain to you why. Here's the thing. If you want to tell the school board what to do, you ran for the wrong election. You should have campaigned as a school board member. Because all of this asking and talking back and forth never does get us anywhere. We've had this struggle, just like Mr. Blevins said, since 2010, I have sat here.
You swap sides.
I have seen it all happen. I ain't went nowhere.
I
And I'm not fencing with you, Mr. Chairman. You can hush him up, or we're gonna have us a problem.
Mr. Carmichael has the floor.
I have the floor.
Mr. Carmichael has the floor.
Here's the point. We've sat here all night and tried to rewrite the rule book. We've tried to do all this talking back and forth of asking somebody something. We don't need this motion. These motions ain't worth nothing. We're not actually doing anything. What we're doing is wasting time. Until the school board comes back with whatever project, me personally, I think Doug's got a good idea. I like his ideas. But as Jimmy Carmichael, the county commissioner, I'm not the guy that gets to say that or not. If he asks me in a public meeting my opinion, I will tell him my opinion. But the school board have got their own commissioners, which are school board members, that run the schools. We don't. We can fund it and be happy, or we can just keep saying no. And you know, we've had this fight up and down this hill the whole time. And there's no point in making this a personal issue. The fact of it is, until they walk in here with whatever they decide to vote on as their plan, we can have all kinds of ideas, but it'll fall on deaf ears. Because until they decide what they want to do, if you want to tell the school board what to do, you need to run an out campaign to be on the school board. But like what we're doing right now, we're having a vote and a major discussion on asking somebody something, which our chairman can, I mean, the man's here. You can ask him right now. We don't have to have a vote for this. There's nothing official going on here. And I just feel like that if we're going to all spend our time sitting in this courtroom, let's be pushing forward to something that we're going to actually do. Let's don't just be having a conversation at a voting meeting. This is something for a work session. This is not for a voting meeting. And that's why we need to come together and say, okay, we're going to have to hash this out. Does the school board like your idea, Mr. Benson?
We never voted on it.
Okay, so all we're doing is asking them to look at something they've never looked at. So
one of them
I
does.
move you just ask them and go on. I think I still got the floor. I really do. I'll render the floor, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Huffaker.
Well, I was asking for clarification on the motion, because if it's like Commissioner.
Sir,
We're on the amendment.
we're on.
Well, I was gonna pull the amendment if if it includes that, but my understanding was he was just asking him for an estimate.
You're asking
cost.
for clarification on the
Yeah,
amendment.
so if
on the-
it's
on the
like-
motion.
If it's like Commissioner Reed's saying, and they're gonna evaluate the plan, it's,
You're asking a question about the motion, is that correct? Clarification?
yes. If they're asking the school board to evaluate the pod plan, which has never been done by the school board, and to get an estimate, that's one thing. But if the request is just to send over for an estimate, I think they should evaluate it first. I don't support the motion either way.
So is your amendment still there?
I don't have any clarification.
You taking the amendment out?
No, I didn't get clarification to know if I needed to take it
Chairman,
off.
I call for the question.
We have a motion to call for the question. Do we have a second? We have a second. Take a vote on the question. You questioning on the amendment or on the motion?
If there's no objection, we can move on with the vote. If
All right.
there's objection, you gotta take a vote on the question.
All right, thank you so
Now I'm
much.
confused. What the heck? What are we voting on the amendment or just the motion?
The motion.
Okay, so we will
Voting
have
on
an
the
amendment,
motion.
okay.
Wait a minute, voting on the question. Voting on the question.
Call the question.
Call the question. All in favor?
Is there any objections?
Any objections to calling for the question and vote? Mr. Snodgrass?
We will be in just a second if nobody objects to the question.
Oh, we're voting to call the question.
All right,
Voting to call the
all in
question.
favor of calling for the motion?
Call the question.
Call the question. Question's been called. All right, we're voting on the motion. And the motion,
We're voting on the amendment.
okay, on the amendment? I'm out here.
Yes.
So, we're voting on the amendment. And the amendment was to ask the school board to consider, to evaluate the plan, see if it was an option. All in favor of the amendment, vote yes. Opposed, vote no. Failed. So we're back to the original motion. Any requests to speak? Mr. Scarlett?
Just copy that one clarification. Yes, sir. For its purpose. Again, are you looking for a square footage estimate, a schematic design estimate? Can you give them a definitive direction about how far to go if we're talking about it?
I would say short of the schematics, but a total project, because this involves several facilities that will need upgrading. So total, the pod plan project, an estimate for that, and for them to review it and see if it's something that will work. But it would also be nice to have numbers to go with it as well. And I think that's what Ms. Huffaker was also saying.
Thank you. Request to speak? Seeing none. All in favor of the motion, vote yes. Opposed, vote no. Motion passes 11 to 8. Doesn't need 2/3 on this. That was Mr. Herndon out of order that time, not me. Clarify.
Boy, he's pretty
quick to announce that, wasn't it?
Well, I've been eating it all out here, so time shifts and blame somewhere. All right. We have come to the conclusion of our agenda. Before you hop up and run out, you have a beer board meeting tonight. So a motion to adjourn would be in order. Yeah, and a second. And anybody opposed, leave. We are adjourned.